Hi everyone. This week's chapter focuses on the literature review, which is an important part of any kind of research paper that you might do. And what I want to do with this video is just show you how I generally go about doing a literature search when I need to do one. It's not the only way to do it, but it is a way that I've found effective for sifting through what may be hundreds of thousands of articles on a topic like stress or diabetes or something like that, and even more for a topic like health. How do you get down to a manageable number of references that are relevant to your topic? So I'm going to walk you through the process I would do. I've been working with a group who are interested in diabetes management, sometimes called diabetes self-management among Hispanic men. The issue, at least from the perspective of the folks who work in this clinic, is that Hispanic men are very reluctant seekers of medical help and are unwilling or participants in many health education programs and things that they might have going on at their clinics. So what I want to do today with our example is see, well, what literature exists that's relevant to diabetes management and Hispanic men, and see what's available specifically about help-seeking behavior among those individuals. So let me scale myself down here until I'm in the corner. So obviously, if you're going to do a literature search, the best place to start is going to be the University Library website, and this is the main page of the library website, and they have this quick little table here. And what I will usually do when I'm looking for peer-reviewed literature, refereed journals, the kind of things that are going to go into a research article, is I will generally search a couple of databases. So I'll click on databases, and you can search these databases by name if you know some of them, and once you use a few of them you become familiar with the names. Or you can choose by subject, and so you might want to go into subject, and there's no public health, but there is health sciences, and that's pretty close to where we're going. And click search. And one of the things you will see is, first of all, you'll see the wife of our own social work professor, Yvonne De La Rosa, works at the library, so you'll see her smiling face. But you'll get some best bets, and then you'll get a complete list of again, these are databases that contain citations from many journals, not just a specific journal. So when you choose something like Medline or PsycInfo or CNOL, these are search engines that are searching across many journals. And so I use a couple. I rely on two databases for most of the work I do in health and public health, because I've found them to, these things, even though the name may say one thing, they index across a lot of different sources and types of information. So I am a big user of CNOL Complete and PsycInfo, and I like them together because, as I'll show you, you can search them both at the same time. So since I'm here, I'm going to go to PsycInfo, and what that's going to do is bring up the EBSCO search engine, which will allow us to search for different using key terms to kind of try to find and limit down, find the kinds of articles we want to find. All right, and so the first thing you'll want to do here is, it says we're searching PsycInfo. If you look up here, it says choose databases, and I'm going to click on that, And because I said you could search CNOL and PsycInfo at the same time, I'm just going to click on CNOL and say OK. You could select all, and I don't know how useful that will be. There's a lot here that I don't see that's particularly as relevant, or I'm just unfamiliar with them. So I usually find what I need through these two databases. So I'm going to go OK, and it doesn't really indicate that it's searching CNOL, but if we click Show All, it will tell us that it is. Okay, so let's start here. With what you want to do is search by keywords or important terms that identify where you're going. And you guys have written a paragraph on your intended topic area, and you're going to kind of need to use that and maybe narrow down from that and pull some key terms from that. So what I said earlier is I'm interested in diabetes in Hispanic men, and particularly health-seeking related to diabetes, but we'll get more specific later. I just want to show you how this will work. If I hit diabetes and click search, one of the things you'll find is, well, that's just too general. There are over 189,000 references that relate in some way to diabetes within PsycInfo and CNOL. So those are that's too many. I don't think anyone could review or look through the titles of 189,700 some articles. I'm not sure people could look through 700 some article titles. It just becomes exhausting. So we want to learn to narrow it down somewhat. And this takes some practice, and you kind of learn this through trial and error sometimes. But one of the things I said earlier is that I'm interested in diabetes management, right? One of the nice things is as you type, you kind of get these keywords that are in the database, key search terms that you can choose. And so I might go with diabetes management. I might go with diabetes management in adults if I wanted to limit to adults. I won't for now. I'll just go to diabetes management and search again. And what we'll see is, well, we've done a lot of reducing of the number of sources. Sorry, my phone, of course, would ring in the middle of trying to record a video. So we're down to 11,000 sources. Still too many to look through. So one of the things I do know where I'm going is I do have a population in mind, and so I'm not interested necessarily in diabetes management in China or in the United Kingdom. I'm interested in a particular population of Hispanic, specifically Hispanic men. But I'm going to start typing Hispanic, and one of the things that I like, these come up. But you also want to be inclusive as well, and so typically individuals with of Spanish descent are Hispanic or Latino, and you can include that as a search term. And so what we're going to do is we're going to combine, and the default here is an and so what it's going to do is it's going to find all articles that have that are related to diabetes management and are focused on or mentioned in some way Hispanic or Latino populations. And so the AND Boolean operator crosses those terms, and you get only those sources that reference both of them. And so when I go search, that gets me down to 504, which is not a bad number considering where we started, but is still a lot of references. So I want to narrow even further, and you could think about adding additional terms here as a way to narrow it down. There are ways to create a more advanced search. You could just look in journals, academic journals, those sorts of things. One of the most useful ways I've found to narrow down a search is to look for keywords in the title of the article. Because if the title of the article mentions diabetes management, you got a pretty good idea that that article is going to focus on diabetes management. So one of the things you can do here is you can select a field, and there are different fields associated with journal articles: title, authors, source, year of publication, all kinds of them. And what I will do is I will pick title. And so, and what I'll do is, what that will do here is it will search for only, to be included, diabetes management. That term needs to be in the title of the article. Right? So that means it's probably pretty specific to that activity, that topic. I go search. That gets me down to 206. So see, we're we're having successive narrowing of focus, and in general, my target is to get down to around 50, 60, maybe 70 articles, list results before I start looking through the titles to see if, in fact, they are what you want for your topic, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. That was really successful. Well, we want to make sure that that article is focused on the target population we want. We might also search for Hispanic or Latino in the title as well, and then that will put further restrictions on it. And we'll see here that we're down to 65, which is pretty good, not bad at all. Okay, so this is a list that is manageable, that you could look through. You could take them and you could you say, well, this is really what I want. One of the things you can do is read through them and put them in your folder, right? Which will then save them, and then you can just see the ones when you click on folder up here. It will show you only those that you've selected, because you've said, oh, these are relevant, or these are important. These are the ones that make sense to me. These are the ones I want to keep. You can also go back and get back to the full list as well. What else? One of the things you may want to do is reduce to the source type. I don't expect anyone to go and find somebody's dissertation, which do get indexed in this database. So you might restrict your search to journals. When you click on that, you'll be down to, in this case, there are 60. So we've got, we've reduced even further by eliminating some of the sources that we are probably not going to use, or not be able to find or locate, not within the time frame of this class. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this video here because I'm near the end of my allotted time for Screencast-O-Matic, and I don't want the videos to get too long, so I'm going to sign off here. This is not a bad place to stop, and if you're familiar and comfortable working with this, you might go from here. I'm going to record a second video in a few minutes, just showing you some tricks where you might go from here once you've found some articles to kind of get them to you, or to find them and to get the citations, so that you can copy and paste the citations, so you don't have to reproduce them all on your own. So that'll be in some of those tips will be in video 2, but we'll sign off for now.